All right, we finally got to the war, but was it worth the wait? Let's talk about Chief of War Episode 9. Hey everyone, it's David Stark from Watcher Pass. I'm here to talk to you about Chief of War Episode 9, The Black Desert, which comes to Apple TV Plus on September 19th, 2025. This is the ninth episode in Chief of War. I thought it was going to be like a mini series, but it feels like it's going to be a season after this one. My hot take is I think you should watch it. Look, we finally get to that war that we've been talking about in Chief of War. We finally get there, and we're rewarded with a brutal battle that was, I don't know, probably worth the amount of time it took to get there. It was a good fight. It was a good overall engagement, but it took a very, very long time to get there. So I think you should ultimately watch. I think it's a good series. I liked this series. I just don't know if the like war was worth the amount of time it took to get there. But overall, I think you should watch the series. It just kind of started so high for me and then just slowly dipped and then kind of came back right at the very end. So I think it's good. I think it's been a good series. I just don't think it was as amazing as I was kind of expecting given the really, really strong start. So all that being said, I'm going to tell you about the episode, a few things I like, a few things I didn't like, and then really quickly go into a recap. So as you can imagine, there will be spoilers in the recap section. You don't know what happens in this episode? I would turn it off when I get to the recap. Before that, though, I'll keep it vague. I'll keep it spoiler free. Let's when I get to those spoilers. So, Chief of War, the Black Desert. Finally get that showdown. We are getting the build up. We've got Kamehameha on one side. He's finally embracing Kayani's weapons, and we've got Kiowa on the other side, embracing using Maui and Kalakili's people to try to take over Hawaii. And the battle for Hawaii will be fought today. Who will win? Well, you have to watch the episode to find out. So, things I liked about this episode. The first, I like the brutality. It is a brutal, brutal scene. It's long, it's involved, there's a lot going on. There is so much brutality. This is kind of what we expected from the start. The first couple episodes were very, very brutal. And the rest of it wasn't bad, but this episode kind of ramps it back up. The second thing I loved, war. We're finally at the war. Chief of War. We're finally at the war. And we get there. It's a good battle. It is imaginative. There's plenty going on. See all of our favorites coming back to fight. So overall, look, it was a good scene. It was a strong scene. It was a good kind of culmination of this series. And the last thing I love the effects. The effects are good. There's all, obviously some CG, but overall it's pretty good effects. Gore, blood. There's some other environmental effects that happen too that make the last war scene pretty interesting. So overall, I liked it. Things I didn't love as much. I'll call it to be continued. I was wondering if this was going to be a mini series or the first season of what will be other episodes, and it seems like there are going to be more Chief of War episodes. Not necessarily a bad thing, but when they draw it out so long, you feel like you probably could have made this into a 12 episode, series versus now we're going to probably have a season 2, and then who knows? Season 2, I'll go into that speculation later, but probably have a season 2, and then maybe more after that. And the last thing I didn't love as much, I'll call it no consequences. I'm not going to go into it here. I'll go into it in the recap, but didn't really feel like there were that many consequences overall. So, all that being said, Chief of War Episode 9, The Black Desert, comes to Apple TV Plus on September 19th, 2025. Like I said, I think you should watch it. And it was a good way to end the series. It just didn't develop like I was hoping to. So, look, I think it's a good series. 9 episodes long. It's interesting. It's beautiful. It's got some good acting. It's got some really great kind of like effects and, drama. So, definitely check it out if you haven't started yet. Only 9 episodes. You can catch up before the inevitable next season. So, if you do watch it, let me know what you think. Let me know what you liked and didn't like. I'd love to hear it. I'm going to really quickly go into a recap right now. So, if you don't know what happens in this episode, I would turn it off now because there will be spoilers. Chief of War starts in the volcano. We have Kiowa up there getting ready for war, getting the favor of his gods. A chief from Hawaii, I guess a different faction in Hawaii, comes up to Kiowa and says, like, we think the gods are with you because this volcano is going off. And Kiowa's like, great, but I want more. I want more than just your loyalty. And he makes the guy punch out some of his own teeth, which is a wonderful, brutal scene. Like, the chief has to punch out his own teeth to get the favor. He does it. He gets added to the group, but he is not doing very well. He punched out, like, 4 of his own teeth. That's pretty intense. Meanwhile, Kamehameha invites Kayani to join him as the chief of war. His chief of war, he wants Kayani to lead his forces, and he also invites Kahumanu to join his council and advise him. So it seems like Kamehameha is like learning, he needs to get some more people involved. He can't just do it on his own. So he's getting Kayani involved because he is a good fighter and kind of knows things that Kamehameha doesn't, and also Kahumanu because she is a good advisor. Also, everyone is training with guns. They're trying to get ready for this upcoming battle. Now, Kayani goes up to Tony and is like, yo, there's always going to be a place for you. They embrace. We got Namake going up to Kayani as they're getting ready. And he's like, yo, me and Kapoa hooked up. Like, I got to clear my head before we fight. And Kayani's like, that's cool. You thought I was dead. No harm, no foul. It seems like there is like a kind of like scene with Kayani and pretty much everyone, which is nice. It's like a nice way before a big pivotal moment. It's kind of like in Mass Effect 2, where before you go and I think you took on some sort of force, like Citadel, maybe aliens, probably aliens. Right at the end of Mass Effect 2, you get to go and like say bye to all of the people that you met before you go off and like do this final battle. Kind of similar to that. Kayani goes around, says, comforts everyone, makes up with everyone, and then there's a lot of very close interaction with Kayani and everyone. The men, the women, everyone gets really close to Kayani. I guess that's cultural. There's not much personal space between them, but hey, you know what? It's a good scene. Now, then they get suited up with their sweet like headdresses and their like capes. It's really cool. It looks like, I don't know. I don't know what they're going for. I don't know what the overall thing is. It looks kind of like birds of paradise if I had to think about it. But it looks nice. It's like, bright and colorful and ready for this battle. Now, everyone lines up and they get ready to fight. But before we actually fight, we start with a spiritual battle. And that's when the two chiefs have their like high priests sing and dance to get the favor of the gods. But when Kaoa's sings, the volcano starts to go off. And like, ooh, that's not good for our friends over in Kamehameha's camp. Like, seems like the gods are with Kaoa. And then the leaders continue this battle with like insults. It's like an insult battle. It's like a rap battle. It's pretty fun because like KO's people be like, oh, look, there's this, baby over here named Kayani. And Kayani's like, yo, look, we got like the dog of Maui over here coming to help out. Keoa looks like he's just here to polish his spear. And you're like, oh, no. And so that happens for a little bit. After Kayani starts insulting some of the warriors over on, Keoa's side, they start throwing some spears. And Kayani's like, whatever. He's like dodging the spears. He grabs one and like breaks it. So he gets everyone riled up. And then the fight happens. Keoa's troops can't take the insults anymore. So they run after, they run across the battlefield. Kayani's like, hold, and then he's like, now, and they go boom, and there's like some people shoot their guns, those people duck back to reload, and the next wave shoots their guns. They have about 2 or 3 volleys of gunfire. Before then, we have hand-to-hand combat. I was like, yo, probably should have had more guns loaded. Feels like the guns could have held off a little bit longer, but then we get to hand-to-hand combat. It is intense. It is, diverse. You've got guns, spears. Kayani goes in with like a spike fist and like a spike club. And also slings. Some of the warriors have slings and they shoot them. It's a really good fight. There's a lot going on. The people who have guns like Tony, he runs in, he like fires it, and then hands the gun to like someone behind him, and she hands him like a new gun so he can fire again. And then they use the bayonets. It's intense. There's a good mix. It's violent. It's very grisly. Like all the fighting is grisly. You got people getting stabbed with like sharpened wood. You got like shark teeth, saw type weapons. You've got guns. You got bayonets. There is a lot of brutality going on here. Now, eventually, Kamehameha also finally gets in the fight. He's been chilling back there while everyone else gets ready to fight. He fights a little bit. And eventually, Kayani fights his way to Keoa's priest. And when he gets there, he kills Keoa's priest and pulls out his tongue. And like, wow, that is intense. Now, during the fight, Heke gets attacked by the Maui guy, the bounty hunter, the crazy soldier who raped her. And she puts up a valiant fight, but gets overpowered. Like, he is bigger, he is, stronger. Looks like she is going to be killed. But then Kalumanu, who's been looking for Heke, finds the guy and shoots him in the leg. And this, gets the Maui fighter to, double over, I guess, from, one gunshot to the leg. And then Heke grabs a club and just beats the hell out of him. And I was like, okay, good scene, good redemption scene, but like this is a super warrior. He was getting punched and kicked and like cut his own tongue during the fight, and all of a sudden one gunshot, and now he like can't move. I feel like he would be able to fight back a little more. But Heke overcomes. Heke beats him with a club and then stabs him with like this, hair needle that she has, like right in the throat. Really good grisly death. Now, during the fight, also, Kupo gets hit with a spear, like right in the side, and so looks like she's gonna, be killed. But then Namake shows up, saves her, pulls the spear out, and so Kupo is saved as well. Now, Kayani goes to fight Keoa. Now, in the build-up, the volcano's going off and a giant lava river opens up and people fall into this river. So you've got a lava river, you've got the fight kind of seeming to pull for Kamehameha's side, and eventually, and when this happens, Keoa cries out to his god and says, "Let me live." But Kayani shows up with a pistol. Keoa is there. Kayani has a pistol right at him. Keoa like puts his hands, up, be like, "Yo, what's gonna happen?" And before Kayani's gonna shoot, a blast of lava shoots up between them, and you don't know what's gonna happen. You don't know. We're like, you can't see anything. We see Keoa's body over on the side. Seems like Keo is dead. Kalumanu runs up to check on Kayani, make sure he's okay. And when she sees that he's okay, she like cries and kisses him. You're like, huh, that's a little awkward. Seems like Kamehameha's war chief is gonna be a little bit more than just his war chief. And during all of this, Kalumanu's dad sees this. So they got a little bit of drama for the next season because Kayamanu's clearly in love with Kayani, and Kayani reciprocates. So it seems like there is going to be some tension between his queen and him. So Kayamanu helps Kayani walk back, and Kamehameha sees this, and I think to alleviate some of his fear and also maybe to like end the battle, Kayani starts, chanting Kamehameha, Kamehameha, and you're like, yeah, cool, but like he didn't really do much. It was mostly Kayani. Kayani did all the fighting. Kamehameha jumped in at the end, and he did. He fought well, but like Kayani was there the whole time. He is the one that took out Keoa. Seems like Kayani should be the leader here, but in any event, Kalumanu goes over to Kamehameha. There's a little bit of tension here. I think Kamehameha knows. I mean, she was next to him when that happened, and she ran off to go check on Kayani. So I think we know. I think he knows that Kalumanu is has some feelings for Kayani. I think he suspected, probably. Now, that is the battle. We see that Kamehameha wins. Yay! Hawaii is united after so much bloodshed. I mean, they probably lost a quarter of their people. Like it was a pretty violent fight, but Hawaii is now united. Now, over in Oahu, this is how the episode kind of starts and then finishes. Over in Oahu, we have Kai Keeley watching over his son. His son was stabbed by Kai Keeley when he attacked him to try to overtake him because Kai Keeley's crazy. And his son, is recovering. Now, his son wakes up and Kai Keeley's like, yo, look, I don't blame you. You had bad influences. People poisoned your mind. And he brings in one of those influences, one of the chiefs that said they would support Kai Keeley's son if he overtook, and starts hanging that person. His son sees this and eventually tells his dad to stop. And his dad listens to him. He stops killing this person. And so this chief who was almost killed is now alive. Now, all the way at the end, after the big battle of Hawaii, we see that chief who pledges support to Kai Keeley's son. He goes to talk to Kai Keeley in Kai Keeley's tent. And there's an orgy going on. You're like, yeah, I mean, I know they really tried hard to not make us like Kai Keeley. I mean, yeah, he's a little crazy and he also ate a dog. So they really tried hard. But now, it feels like maybe they're trying to make us like him. Because, like, look, he's got that metal tower of bones, like that metal tower of bones. He nursed his son back to health after he stabbed him. And now he's taking beans in the middle of an orgy. Like, this guy's, I mean, he seems pretty cool. Like, yeah, he's crazy and he's probably bad, but like, I don't know. He seems pretty cool too. Now, there's an orgy going on. This chief comes up, talks to him, and the chief like doesn't want to look at him because Kai Keeley almost killed him, so he's like nervous. But Kai Keeley like makes an effort to make sure that this chief looks at him. He gets real close to it. It feels like maybe Kai Keeley wants more than just a message from this chief. But the chief gives him the message. He says that word from Hawaii is here. KO is dead, and our troops were defeated. And Kaikeyi is like, great, like now I can attack and get Kayani's bones. I know I want Kayani's bones anyways. And he's like, okay. And the Kaikeyi is like, yo, send word to Maui to gather my fleet. And it sounds like he's going to now attack Hawaii, which is a good time to attack Hawaii, right? Right after they had a battle. Don't want to let them build up their defenses. Don't want to let them replenish their supplies and people. Fight, hit him right now. He says he's gonna like blanket the ocean in his war canoes and then like hunt them down through the sand and stone or something like that. So it seems like Kaikili is going to attack Hawaii. Now, Kaikili doesn't do anything else to this chief. It seems like he wants to, but the chief eventually leaves, and Kaikili's left in his tent with his orgy going around him. And that is Chief of War. So, like I said, lack of consequences. We had Nahi die last episode. That was like the first death from Kayani's group here. And now we have a battle, an intense, chaotic battle where we have Kayani, Kamehameha, Kaumanu, Kupoa, uh, Namake, I think, his friend, I think, and then Heke. They all fight. They are all in the middle of this battle. No one dies. The only person that gets hurt is Kupoa. Everyone else is fine. And like one of them should have probably died. Like that would make sense given the chaos here, the lava that was going on, the spears, the death. One of them should have probably died. No one died. And you're like, yeah, I mean, yeah, we want our friends here, but like someone should die. That just makes sense. We can introduce new characters next season. So that was a little frustrating because look, like it just didn't like this series kind of felt like it was trying to go for realism because of the way that they've made the sets, the way that they've like tried to use the Hawaiian language. It feels like they're trying to go with a like somewhat accurate reproduction. But then you get these other scenes where like there's this massive battle, everyone survives. Maybe that's what happened, but I don't think so. I think they just wanted to keep our favorites around for season two. And again, seems like we're gonna have a season two. It seems, and I'll go now. I'll go into like questions, predictions. Seems like we're gonna have a season two. What's gonna happen? Well, clearly, Kai Keeley is gonna get ready to attack. How long is that gonna take? I don't know. Maybe they're gonna make it in real time. Maybe it'll take like 5 days, 5 episodes for his canoes to get there. I don't think so, but it feels like we're probably gonna have another long build-up episode or season with Kai Keeley getting ready to attack, gathering his forces. We'll probably have to go to Maui first to get more people and then go attack Hawaii. So there's probably gonna be some tension there. We'll probably have some tension on Hawaii as, Kupoa and Namake get close and Kayani and Kawamanu kind of like have a secret love. That'll probably happen. My guess is that Kawamanu will probably get pregnant during this, and then Kamehameha is going to think that maybe it's his kid, but maybe he's going to realize, like, wait, that timing doesn't work out. I feel like that will probably be what happens in season two, culminate in some sort of big battle between Kai Keeley. And then, maybe season three will have Kai Keeley's son come up and take the mantle, and maybe the white people will be back and they'll attack too. But that's kind of what I think will probably happen. We'll have a long build up, maybe a mid battle, and then maybe a final battle, something like that. There will definitely be a season two. It'll definitely be Hawaii versus Maui slash Oahu, and we will see. We will see what happens. But that is Chief of War episode 9. Like I said, you should watch it. It's been a good series. Just not as good as I was expecting. So check it out. And if you do see it, let me know what you think. Let me know what you liked and didn't like. I'd love to hear. And thanks so much for watching. If you like this review, please like and subscribe to this channel. It helps me out a lot. Make sure all my new content goes straight to you. Thank you. Lack of consequences. We have all of our friends here. I mean, yes. What was his name?